Pastor Kasey here again with Water Street Church's Midweek devotional. Going to try my hand at a spoken word. I used to live in homes surrounded by pine trees of all different kinds, and save for the sap, they shared one common curse. Those seed pods that they dropped on my yard demanded that I rake them, lest missiles they become launched by my lawnmower, threatening man, child, dog, panes of glass, the little old lady deadheading her flower garden next door. They were a lot of work and gave me nothing. I hated those pine cones. I raked them into a fire pit that would smolder and burn as I fed it shovel after shovel after shovel after shovel of dead, useless pine cones. A smoldering Hades, an apt designation for a wasted day. A day that I was sentenced to the hard labor after creation's fall into sin and evil somehow imprisoned our creation's body. Now suddenly subject to atrophy and dying without any outside help. My help. And there I raked and shoveled, sullen from sore shoulders, ruminating on the ruin of better things to do, when suddenly what only could have been described as the finger of God poked me and awakened my stony heart with a word: sin. Not a serious or sinister accusation, mind you, neither an affirmation of a morose mood, not a question of accurate or appropriate assessment, but a matter of fact, a concrete thing, not a thingamajig, not a silly something, not a frivolous fact, a real thing, simple sin. And suddenly I realized it was all around and not just on the ground, but up high in the trees, affecting the bees and pestering bugs that pestered us, and out in the field full of hay, ready for harvest, and in the creek quite distressed after rains washed away pesticides. It was in animals and grass and likely the sky, and from what I remembered, the plank in my eye. And then again another poke, and this time to my head. Not just sin, you fool, you're dead. And then more words I remembered, he said. While you were yet dead in your sin, I raised you up. Or better yet, raked you up. Every pine cone of sin and offense had already been raked into the fire. Every selfish act, every stain, and anything I imagined gained, and all my best and all my worst lay burning in his lake of fire. And not just mine, but yours as well. And the dogs and the childs and the old neighbor ladies and the fields and the creeks and the bugs and the trees and even their cones that brought me here. And the third time I felt a prodding, this on my heart. It's done, he said, I did my part. You cursed a thing you do not like, and you think my world owes you a life. You climb the hill of your own moral high ground, and you choose what to curse and what to disgrace, blind to my reason and far from my place. In the words of Leonard Ravenhill, a servant of mine, remember what I did. Jesus did not come to the world to make bad men good. He came into the world to make dead men live. Thank you.